All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive on something super useful, and that's how to get more views on your YouTube videos.
After you hit upload.
After you hit upload. That's
Yeah.
right. We're not talking about how to make the videos better in the sense of like, content,
Right.
editing, all that. We're talking about maximizing views after you're done with the video.
Exactly.
And we got some great stuff here from this creator's guide. It's called What I Do After Uploading YouTube Videos to Boost Views. I love this kind of stuff. This is like the geeky side of YouTube.
This is the stuff that a lot of people overlook.
Yeah.
People are so focused on making the video, but then what?
Yeah. And this is where the rubber meets the road. You
Right.
know, you made this great video, you spent all this time on it.
Yeah.
But if no one sees it, then what's the point, right?
Exactly.
So let's jump into it. So the first thing that they talk about here is something that you can actually do before you even upload, and that is optimizing your video file name. And this is interesting because I've never really thought about that too much. You just kind of like name it whatever.
You name it whatever you shot it as. Or
Yeah, right.
But they're saying that this is the first piece of metadata that YouTube sees is your video file name.
It is. Think of it as the first impression, right?
Oh.
You're giving YouTube a little sneak peek at what this video is going to be about before they even get into the meat of the title, the description, the tags.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of like almost like a little, it's like an early signal to the algorithm, like, hey, this is what this is about.
Absolutely. So putting in those relevant keywords right off the bat, super helpful for YouTube to be able to categorize your content accurately.
Okay, so like, for example.
For example, if your video is about smartphone photography tips, you'd want to make sure that the file name of the video that you are uploading has smartphone and photography tips in it.
Okay, so like literally those words.
Literally those words. Okay. And then, obviously the rest of it can be whatever, episode number or
Whatever organizational system you have, whatever makes sense for you.
Right.
But making sure those keywords are in there is really important.
Got it. Now, what if you're like me and you haven't been doing that, Is all hope lost?
No. Of course not. It's just one small piece of the puzzle.
Okay, phew.
Yeah.
All right, so what about the title and the thumbnail?
All right, so the title and thumbnail, those are very important. I would say they're probably, they're up there.
Yeah, it's the first thing you see.
That's the first thing that a potential viewer is going to see, right? That's what's going to convince them to click or not click.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that your title is catchy and informative so that people know what your video is about but are also intrigued and want to click. And then the thumbnail should be visually appealing and accurately represent what the content of the video is.
So it's like, it's got to grab their attention.
Yes. You got to hook them.
Hook them in. Yeah. And I mean, I've heard so much about this, and I know listeners, you've probably heard a lot about this too.
Yeah.
But it is like, that's the first impression, like you said.
It is.
And you want to make it count. Now, here's something that I thought was super cool. The guide talks about using ChatGPT to extract keywords.
Yes.
Now, I've heard of ChatGPT being used to like kind of get some ideas for titles and stuff.
Sure. Brainstorm.
Yeah, brainstorming. But to have it pull keywords straight from your script, I thought that was genius.
It is. It takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
Because you know that the keywords that you're going to be using are directly related to the content of your video.
So it's not just like, you're kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's like,
right.
No, these are literally the words that I am using in this video.
Precisely.
Okay, so you're using ChatGPT for the keywords.
Yes.
And then, get this, they're saying you can even use ChatGPT to write your description.
That's right. Why not take it a step further? So you've already got your keywords and you can just feed those right into ChatGPT, have it write a description for you.
And it weaves it in, right? It's not just like a list of keywords.
It's a natural sounding description, but those keywords are strategically placed within the description.
So it's not just a robotic list.
No.
It's like an actual human sounding description.
It is.
That's amazing. Okay, now, they also mentioned something about using a template for your description.
Yes, this is super helpful, especially as your channel grows and you're putting out more and more content.
Right.
So having a template that includes things like your social media links, any affiliate links that you might use, maybe a call to action to join your email list, whatever those consistent elements are for your channel, having those in a template just saves you so much time and effort.
So it's kind of like it's all there. You don't have to like think about it. You just kind of like plug in the specific stuff for in the video.
Exactly. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Right. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to something that I actually, until reading this guide, never really thought about as being a tool to boost views.
Okay.
And that is chapters.
Chapters. Yeah.
Chapters. I mean, I always thought they were just for, organization.
Yeah. For the viewer experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Navigation, so they can jump around if they need to.
Yeah.
But actually, they can play a really important role in SEO.
Oh, so how's that?
So when you're titling your chapters, you want to make sure you're using keywords in those chapter titles.
So it's giving, again, more signals to YouTube.
More signals to YouTube about what your video is about.
Okay. And then the guide, they had a really cool tip. They said, use TubeBuddy to create chapters while watching your video at 2x speed.
Super efficient.
That's amazing.
It really is. So you can get through that process much quicker.
So you can kill two birds with one stone.
Exactly.
Okay, I love that. Now, they also mentioned this thing called the list link hack.
Yes.
And tell us about that.
Okay, so the list link hack is super cool because it essentially allows you to curate the videos that appear in that up next sidebar.
So you're telling YouTube, hey, these are the videos I want people to watch after they're done watching this video.
Exactly. You're guiding the viewer journey and you're keeping them engaged with your content for longer.
It's so smart.
It is very clever.
Okay. Now, this one I think is super, super important. The guide talks about end screens and calls to action.
Yes.
And they have some interesting points here.
Yes, they do.
One thing that they say is make your calls to action specific. So instead of just saying, hey, subscribe,
Right.
they're saying, maybe like if your video is about scripting, for YouTube videos,
Yes.
direct them to your next video on filming.
Yes, exactly. Give them a clear next step in their journey.
Yes. So you're not just kind of like vaguely saying, hey, watch more of my stuff.
Right.
You're saying, hey, if you like this, here's the next logical step.
Absolutely. It's all about creating a natural flow for the viewer and keeping them engaged with your channel.
I love that. And I think that's a really important point, is that it's not just about, getting a bunch of views on one video.
Right.
It's about building that connection.
It is. It's about building that relationship with your viewers and encouraging them to explore more of your content.
Okay, so we've got all these kind of on YouTube things.
Yes.
But they're also saying promote it on the community tab.
Yes.
Before it even goes live.
Before it even goes live.
I never would have thought to do that.
It's a fantastic way to build anticipation, to get people excited about the video that's coming out. Think of it like a little sneak peek.
Oh, I see. So it's like a trailer for the video.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're getting people excited. They're like, oh, I can't wait for this to come out.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then they also say, and this I thought was kind of clever,
Okay.
repurpose video content into GIFs for the community tab.
Yes. GIFs are great. They're eye-catching, and they can really help draw attention to your upcoming video.
Okay, so you're basically taking snippets from the video and turning them into GIFs and putting them on the community tab.
Exactly. So you're further maximizing the reach of your video even before it's been published.
All right, now let's talk about something that might seem like a small detail, but I think it's actually really important.
Okay.
And that is deep links.
Deep links, yes. These are super powerful, especially for those who are watching your videos on mobile devices.
Oh.
So a deep link, essentially, is a link that will automatically open the YouTube app on someone's phone or tablet.
Oh, okay.
And take them directly to your video.
So it's not like taking them to the browser version of YouTube.
Exactly. It eliminates that extra step, which, believe it or not, can make a huge difference in how many people actually end up watching your video.
Oh, because it's just so smooth.
Exactly. It's seamless. It's easy.
And people have short attention spans.
Yes, they do.
So if they're gonna click on something and then it opens up a browser and then they gotta
And the app?
find the app.
Yeah.
That's too many steps.
It is. You've lost them.
You've lost them. So deep links. And they're saying you can use this tool called YT Open app to generate these deep links.
It's a very handy tool.
Yeah.
Then you can share those links on your Instagram stories and your DMs and your link in bio anywhere, really.
So you can basically make it super easy for people, no matter where they are, to click on that link and immediately be watching your video on YouTube.
That's right.
All right, let's talk about short form content.
Okay. Short form content. Super important these days.
Huge. Huge. And I think this is something that a lot of creators, especially people who are focused on long form content, might not be utilizing as much as they could.
They might be a little intimidated by it.
Yeah, intimidated by it.
Yeah.
Or just I don't have time to make TikToks and Reels and all that. But they make a really good point in the guide, which is that you can use those platforms to drive traffic back to your YouTube channel.
Exactly. And the guide gives a really clever tactic for doing just that.
Okay, tell me about it.
They actually offer a bonus full-length YouTube video via DM
Oh, wow.
to anyone who comments a specific keyword on their short-form content.
Oh, that's smart. So, like, they're scrolling through TikTok, they see your reel, and they're like, oh, if I comment this, I get this free video.
Exactly. It's a win-win. It incentivizes engagement on your short-form content,
Yeah.
and then it rewards those viewers with exclusive content that is longer form on YouTube.
So you're bringing them into that YouTube ecosystem.
Precisely.
Okay, I love that. And then they also suggest, which is a really smart tip for kind of streamlining this whole process, is use ManyChat to automate it.
Yes.
So you don't have to be like in your DMs all day, like sending out links.
Manually sending out links to hundreds of people.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare.
It would.
Yeah.
So ManyChat is a great tool that can automate that process for you.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, let's talk about Instagram stories. Now, I know, there's a lot of debate out there about whether or not, Instagram is even worth it for driving traffic to YouTube anymore.
Right.
But they have a pretty interesting approach here that I think is worth trying.
Okay.
They actually have the 3-story formula for promoting YouTube videos on Instagram stories.
Okay.
And the first story is they reshare a related Instagram reel.
So they're grabbing attention.
Yes. So something that is related to the topic of the YouTube video.
Makes sense.
So you're already kind of like piquing people's interest.
Yes.
Then story number 2,
Okay.
they show the thumbnail and title with context in the link.
So they're giving more information about the video itself.
Yes. And then story number 3,
Okay.
this I thought was really clever. They do a screen recording showcasing the video chapters.
I love this. It's like giving them a little mini trailer experience.
Yes. It's like, here's what you can expect.
Exactly.
Here's what you're going to get. So you're giving them a little sneak peek.
Yes. And you're also showcasing the value of your video by showing that you've put thought and effort into structuring it with chapters.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about all these fancy ways to promote your video and get it out there.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about one of the most important things,
Okay.
which is community engagement.
Oh, yes. This cannot be stressed enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's so easy to just post the video and then walk away.
Yeah.
Be like, okay, I'm done.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah. But they make a really good point in the guide, which is that, responding to comments isn't just about being polite. It's actually a signal to the algorithm that your content is valuable.
It is. It shows YouTube that people are engaging with your content. They're enjoying it and that it's worth promoting.
So you want to, especially in those first 24 hours after you upload a video, be in there responding to comments.
Absolutely. It's crucial.
Ask questions, really engage with people.
Yes. Have conversations, build relationships.
And then they also give a tip, which is, using YouTube analytics to efficiently manage and prioritize comments.
Yes, that's a great tip, especially as your channel grows and you start getting more and more comments.
Yeah.
It can be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
So using YouTube analytics can help you identify those comments that are maybe the most impactful or the most engaging.
Right.
And make sure you're prioritizing those.
So basically figure out which comments are actually worth responding to.
Exactly. You want to make sure you're using your time effectively.
Right. Okay, and then last but not least, let's talk about YouTube Shorts.
Shorts. Yes. Another powerful tool for driving traffic to your long-form content.
And this is something, again, that I think a lot of creators, especially long-form creators, might be sleeping on.
Might be a little hesitant to embrace.
Yeah, but they have a great point, which is that you can strategically schedule shorts and then use the related video option to link back to your full-length videos.
Exactly. It's a brilliant way to introduce viewers to your other content. So they might find you through a short, and then that short will lead them to one of your longer videos.
So they're getting that taste of your content, and then they're like, oh, I want more.
Yes. It's like a little appetizer.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
So you're really maximizing the impact of both your short and long-form content.
Yeah. Okay, and last but not least, we have to talk about A/B testing.
Yes, A/B testing. Super important.
Super important for figuring out what actually works.
It is. It's all about data-driven decision-making.
Yeah. And they say in the guide that they primarily use TubeBuddy for A/B testing.
Yes.
Now, I know TubeBuddy is a paid tool, but they do have a free version.
They do.
But they also mention that YouTube offers thumbnail A/B testing directly in YouTube Studio.
Yes, which is a great option for creators who are just starting out or who maybe don't want to invest in a paid tool yet.
So there are options. You don't have to spend money.
You don't. And you can start experimenting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think this whole idea of A/B testing is really about, taking the guesswork out of it.
Exactly. You're not just randomly changing things and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
You're using data to inform your decisions.
Yeah. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. This guide was absolutely packed with insightful tips.
It was. I'm curious, what stood out to you as particularly helpful?
Honestly, for me, I think the ChatGPT thing was just, wow, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because I've played around with ChatGPT, a little bit, but to think about using it in that way, to pull the keywords and actually write your description, I mean, that just seems like that's genius.
It is pretty amazing. And I think it speaks to the power of, really understanding how these AI tools can be used to streamline our workflow.
Yeah.
And I'm all about working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
So that really resonated with me.
For sure. For sure. What about you? What was like the aha moment? Was there anything in there that you were like, whoa, I never thought about that?
I think the deep links thing is something that I haven't really been utilizing as much as I probably should.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things, it seems so simple on the surface.
Yeah.
But it can make such a big difference in terms of the viewer experience.
Yo, absolutely.
Especially on mobile. Because, we're all on our phones all the time.
Yeah, and people are impatient.
People are impatient.
So if they got to click a link and then it opens in a browser, then they got to go find the app. It's too much.
And, people are going to bounce. They're going to give up.
You've lost them.
You've lost them. So, yeah, the deep links thing was a big takeaway for me.
Cool. So for folks who are listening and they're like, all right, this is awesome. I'm ready to put some of this into action. What would you say, like, if you had to pick one thing, like the most important thing to start with?
I would say prioritize community engagement. It's so easy to just hit publish on that video and then walk away.
Yeah.
But taking the time to respond to comments, to ask questions, to really foster that sense of community, it's huge.
It's a reminder that YouTube is social media at its core.
It is social media.
So, we can't just treat it like a broadcasting platform. We got to treat it like a social platform, right?
Absolutely. And that engagement goes a long way, not just with the algorithm, but with building a loyal audience.
Absolutely. Now, this guide focused on what to do after you upload.
Right.
But I was thinking, what if we took some of these principles and applied them before we even hit record?
Ooh, I like that. So you're talking about like baking these optimization strategies into the planning process.
Yeah, like from the very beginning.
Interesting.
So, when you're coming up with your video idea, you're already thinking about, okay, what are my target keywords? What are some potential chapters I could have? What's my call to action going to be?
Yeah. Thinking about the end from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
And I think, it's just a subtle shift in mindset.
It is.
But it could make a huge difference in terms of how well your videos perform.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're approaching it with intention. You're not just creating content for the sake of creating content.
Yeah.
You're creating content that is strategically designed to resonate with your audience and to perform well on the platform.
I love that. I think, this is just a great example of how we can take these insights and then apply them in even more powerful ways.
Absolutely.
So, for all of you listeners out there who are, already thinking about your next video.
Yes.
I challenge you, before you hit record, spend some time thinking about these optimization elements and just see how it changes, how you approach the video.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
With the results.
Absolutely. All right. So that brings us to our outro.
Okay.
But before we sign off, we'd love to hear from you guys. What resonated with you the most from this deep dive? What are you most excited to implement? Let us know. Head over to our social media. We want to hear from you guys.
Absolutely. Share your thoughts, what you're going to implement, what you're struggling with. Let's have a conversation.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
We're all trying to figure this stuff out.
That's right. So
this has been an awesome deep dive into this guide. But I wanted to leave everyone with kind of like one final thought.
Okay.
The guide focused on what to do after you upload.
Right.
But what if we took this optimization mindset and applied it to our entire content creation process from like the very beginning?
I love that.
So, instead of just reacting to the algorithm, we're actually proactively shaping our content to align with it.
To align with it from the get-go.
From the get-go. So, we're thinking about this stuff when we're brainstorming ideas.
Yes.
When we're writing our scripts, when we're filming, when we're editing. It's like, it's a whole new level of of strategy.
It is.
Like,
It's a mindset shift.
yeah.
And it's a really powerful one.
Yeah, and it's almost like you're hacking the system
Yeah.
in a way.
In a way, but in a good way.
In a good way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not like, black hat or anything like that.
Right.
But you're using your knowledge
Mm-hmm.
to create content that is both, engaging for your audience,
Yeah.
but also optimized for the algorithm.
Absolutely.
It's like a win-win.
It is a win-win.
So that's it for this deep dive. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we will catch you in the next one.
See you next time.